For many of us, the image of a dinosaur is inseparable from a mighty, window-rattling roar, a sound etched into our minds by movies like Jurassic Park. But what did these prehistoric giants actually sound like? The truth, pieced together by paleontologists studying fossilized skulls and living relatives, is far stranger and arguably more fascinating than Hollywood fiction. When we focus on three iconic groups, the terrifying Tyrannosaurus rex, the cunning raptors, and the duck-billed hadrosaurs, we uncover an ancient soundscape dominated not by Hollywood roars, but by deep, bone-shaking rumbles, bird-like squawks, and haunting resonant calls that would have echoed through forests and floodplains. Let's start with the most famous predator of all, Tyrannosaurus rex. Despite its fearsome reputation, the T-Rex almost certainly could not produce a booming lion-like roar. Why? Because roaring, as modern lions and tigers do, requires a complex larynx and specific vocal cords that T-Rex simply did not possess. Instead, scientists looked to its closest living relatives, birds and crocodilians. Many large birds, like ostriches and crocodiles, produce low-frequency rumbles or infrasound, sounds so deep that they travel for miles and vibrate through solid objects. A T-Rex, with its massive size and specialized air sacs, likely generated a similar low, guttural rumble that you wouldn't hear as much as feel in your chest. Imagine a sound like a giant contrabassoon mixed with an earthquake, used to communicate over vast distances, attract mates, or intimidate rivals. It wasn't a roar. It was a subsonic throb of pure power. Next, consider the raptors, the intelligent, sickle-clawed hunters like Velociraptor. Here, the link to birds becomes even more direct. Recent discoveries of preserved voice boxes, syrinxes, in ancient birds suggest that many small theropods, including raptors, might have been surprisingly vocal. However, they probably didn't sound like the snarling, barking creatures seen in films. A more realistic raptor call might resemble the screech of a hawk, the cackle of a raven, or even the cooing of a dove. Some paleontologists propose that raptors could produce a variety of hoots, clicks, and sharp calls for alarm, mating, or coordinating pack hunting. But there's also a spine-chilling possibility, the death screech. Modern birds of prey, like the barn owl, produce a fierce, rasping hiss when threatened. A velociraptor, with its sharp beak and powerful lungs, might have let out a sudden high-pitched shriek or a grating squawk designed to disorient prey. It wasn't a cunning whisper. It was the sound of a feathered predator screaming from the undergrowth. Finally, we arrive at the hadrosaurs, the duck-billed dinosaurs, which are the true maestros of dinosaur sound. Unlike T-Rex or raptors, many hadrosaurs possessed elaborate, hollow bony crests on top of their skulls, sometimes containing long, looping nasal passages. These were not just for display, they were biological wind instruments. When a hadrosaur like Parasaurolophus exhaled, air would travel through these convoluted chambers, producing a loud, resonant tone. Using CT scans, scientists have recreated these sounds, which resemble a foghorn, a bass clarinet, or a brass trombone. Depending on the size and shape of the crest, each individual had a unique voice, capable of producing deep, booming notes that could travel over a kilometer. These calls were likely used to herd the family together, warn of danger, or even serenade potential mates. Imagine a vast herd of hadrosaurs, each one tooting, blaring, and humming in a low-frequency chorus as they migrated across the landscape. So, the next time you try to imagine the Mesozoic era, replace the cinematic roar with a far more haunting symphony. Hear the ground trembling to the infrasonic throb of a T-Rex, the sharp bark of a raptor hunting in the shadows, and the mournful foghorn-like call of a hadrosaur echoing through a river valley. These were not monsters from a movie. They were real, breathing animals, and their world was anything but silent. It was a world of noisy dinosaurs, where every grunt, click, and deep resonant bellow tells a story of survival, behavior, and life millions of years ago. And thanks to science, we are finally learning to listen.